Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Thursday, August 10th, 2023. The main fire potential impacts for the next few days are shown here. The big story is the southerly moisture that continues to move northward over the next coming days. Some of these storms will be wet and some will be on the drier side. We can see here the areas where we're expecting the drier thunderstorms will be on the periphery of the moisture into central Nevada or southern south central Nevada today, pushing a little bit northward into central Nevada on Friday, a little bit further northwestward on Saturday. The relative humidities are coming up across southern Utah. We're near the Thompson fire, and so that should be some good news there. Past 24 hours of precip and lightning is shown here. We have had some minimal thunderstorm activity along the Arizona Strip yesterday, and then we're seeing some thunderstorms already this morning here in yellow popping up over southern Nevada. Generally dry elsewhere across the Great Basin. Fire activity is shown here. A pretty light IA yesterday with 7 fires for 1.4 acres, and we did not have an update on large fire growth. Precipitation for the past 14 days is shown here with inches on the left and percent of normal on the right. Again, we had that very heavy precipitation event a few days over southern Idaho and northern Utah, northeast Nevada, where we are seeing this much above normal precipitation, but still some dry pockets out there, particularly western Nevada. Didn't see much of any precip throughout that period. So as we see some drier type storms moving into this area, we'll keep an eye on there. Fire danger conditions are shown here. This is our ERC percentile. We've got ERCs below the 60th percentile for much of the central and eastern half of the Great Basin, with higher values over the western half. Some pockets with around the 90th and even the 97th percentile there. Closer look at a couple of these areas. Northern Idaho on the Payette there, we can see values have dropped quite a bit over the past couple of days to much below normal for the time of year. And then the south central Utah mountains, those values have been on the upward swing over the past couple of days with the dry air mass there, but those should level out with some moisture moving into that area. This morning's satellite imagery shows some moisture moving up from the south with generally westerly flow in place across the north. It is going to be dry and warm across Idaho and northern Nevada through the coming days as we see this moisture moving northward, keeping temperatures somewhat moderated, mostly across Utah and into southern Nevada. So for this afternoon, we can see that southerly moisture continuing to move into portions of southern Nevada and southern Utah for isolated thunderstorms down there, and drier air mass in place across the north. No significant triggers today, but we do have some brown PSAs still in western Nevada. For this afternoon, a closer look at the precip areas here. Southern Nevada, higher elevations of southern Utah and the Arizona Strip are the areas that should see the best chance for those thunderstorms, and then maybe some up here in western Wyoming. So we have some gusty conditions across eastern Idaho and western Wyoming today. Some drier air starting to move in there after days of kind of cloudy air with more humidity. And then gusty outflows from any thunderstorms that develop across the south today. On Friday, we expect to see more of the same, moisture continuing to move a little bit further northward and westward into central Nevada and into Utah, and drier air remaining across the north. No high risk on Friday. So this thunderstorms, this is one model. It's producing higher chances for thunderstorms along the higher elevations of most of Utah, and then some isolated thunderstorms across the central portions of Nevada. Gusty outflow winds with those thunderstorms in Utah. On Saturday, pretty much more the same. We'll see the precipitation chances move a little bit further northwestward into western Nevada. We do have high risk for those isolated dry thunderstorms there. And then continued chance for thunderstorms over mainly the higher elevations of Utah again, and staying dry across the north. So the probability of precipitation in Utah is where we'll see the better chance for those thunderstorms again over the higher elevations, and then lower chances over central Nevada. But we are expecting to see some isolated thunderstorms in western Nevada where our fuels are the driest, and so that's where we have our high risk for that chance. Gusty outflow winds will accompany all of these thunderstorms on Saturday. The 3-day precipitation totals are shown here. Again, looking for a pretty good chance of a wetting rain across these higher elevations of southern Utah, and maybe a little bit of a chance over the Uintas as well, and then southern Nevada with the isolated to scattered showers there. On Sunday, the moisture pushes further northwestward into northwest Nevada. We do have high risk for those thunderstorms starting off as dry, becoming maybe a mix of wet and dry, and then still remaining dry over Idaho. And a little bit more of the same on Monday, those thunderstorms possibly continuing into northeast Nevada, and moisture in place, remaining in place over Utah, mainly the higher elevations for continued shower and thunderstorm activity there. Maybe we could see some isolated thunderstorms move into portions of central Idaho as well, depending on where that moisture ends up. By Tuesday, we'll start to see some drying moving back in from the west, and our thunderstorms will be decreasing at that point, especially across the west with some continued isolated storms over Utah. Then that pattern holds into Wednesday. It's that high pressure ridge building off the Pacific coast here. Temperatures could get pretty warm up here in the Pacific Northwest and Idaho. They should be warm really through the period, with more moderated conditions further south and east. The 7-day precip totals are shown here, not changing a whole lot from the 3-day. Most of the precip is coming in the short term. The extended forecast for August 17th through the 23rd is calling for generally above normal temperatures across the entire Great Basin, with the best chance for those really warm temperatures across southern Utah, and above normal chances for precipitation over the entire Great Basin as we head into that third week of August. And this concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.